Hello, before Elon Musk was on Twitter, before he bought Twitter, and since then, the FBI has collusions with upskirt pictures on Twitter with people involved with proven child abusers, leaders, and kids years apart. And the families involved with that are involved with other natures of organized crimes at the same time, including the victims as collusion slash S. Everyone repeating fake things, including the news. The news locations, the intelligence, the difference of the guilt of the intelligence at their locations or next to it. They have been planting fake conversations and ties to kids and people of all ages and attaching everyone to fake conversations with those around them, where and how they use criminally foreign influence, tactical delusions, raw their identities of difference while they pretend other. Also, they are only capable of it because they have relative delusions at the same time. It is important to get the interbranch onto paper into one name and sequence. Former director of the FBI, Robert Luskin, his co-defendants and their family members also have predicate acts with Facebook pages of the campuses and Twitter collusion slash S World Wide Web companies collusion slash S with foreign and domestic digital police forms involved with predicate acts with fax methods and roles with differences racketeering. Then they have the identity to pretend to be about against hate and things like that because they're keeping out their rules with differences used, sequence shifts, mass evidence, collusion slash S with all natures of crime scenes originally and still our interbranch and intelligence has had at countries A through Z. The only way to make nature great again, anywhere it is to admit the hyperforeign system of nature communicating to us, being and having been replaced since founding. They're changing and faking our words. How they're getting away with this is relative to predicate acts with facts, methods plural. I recorded, connected, time to use slash S of them at and next to each of the campuses I went to. All exceptions, exception nature come with demonstration slash S of the same thing. It is manifest this way because there is a hyperforeign that has been using remotely the voices of names A through Z, speaking people of the sciences speaking for them dishonestly while pretending other, the way the breaching method keeps them only capable of. So then, after he bought Twitter, Elon Musk and his mother or someone pretending to be them got involved with this conversation with upskirt pictures on Twitter after the principal child abuser, upskirt nature, was already caught with that at a shopping center. Even if that was totally made up, that the shopping centers in the malls have collusion slash S with the rest of the names I recorded involved forcing that. They charged me with harassment. I never even got to communicate with the people at the school. All exception nature were them making confessions and more demonstrations and confirmations regarding what brought the school up to me. And then having me call back and making a whole bunch of messages, having me call back to make it look like I called a whole bunch of times and said things that never were. These are also with Weathersfield Police, with foreign countries and other police departments and courts that have been putting fake ties and fake natures of ties to little kids and at the campuses and next to them and at all sides of their houses. It's a method slash S. Even the members of it don't understand. There are proofs. There's a guy who took a picture of me right when we were taking a corner on the corner of Carriage Hill and Fair Lane Drive. There's involved with the O'Brien family and a bunch of people over there. I don't even know them. And there's like Ian or someone who tried to pretend other with people involved interstates with triages and houses and businesses next to them and people that just go by temporary. And like with overt criminal enterprises and private ones next to Hartford Hospital, involved with a bunch of people at Hartford Hospital that faked conversations with me. In those conversations, they pretended I made conspiracy theories, and I said that everyone's against me. These are people increasingly involved with the same house slash S personally and professionally, involved with whole families that work together there, too. Men and women and their families, different ages of them. And then the schools that their kids are at, they're covering live progressions because they already faked conversations with people. These are people personally and professionally involved with judges and prosecutors and victims advocates with overt criminal enterprises and private ones. These are roles of predicate acts with facts, methods, evidence, federal evidence is crimes, method /S roles, needs, and natures as they are actually recorded. They're offensively using truths that they want. Privacy used for lies and sequence shifts. They're forcing me to bring up the name of a Keene family because they have neighbors a bunch of ways involved with people that were involved with predicate acts on my street since I was a kid. And their roles next to the state as conjunctions to the state judicial branch offices. People with conjunctions to the state judicial branches all different ways have collusion /S with all kinds of wire crime acts and mail crime acts and methods recorded as evidences. See, but they don't follow mandated law on a mass scale. That's why there are laws. They're not supposed to prevent people from reporting things, in other words. And there's violence involved. So we're going to have to do it on paper because there's more violence with people from other areas on my street with the ones involved with the fake conversations with me with police when I was a kid and now as an adult too. And they had to hide live progressions with that, with the news. All along the roads and routes and at corners of the streets are people collusion /S with them. There were reports about a kid beat up and they stole a phone from him when he was waiting for a bus along Route 3. Even if that wasn't made up, the news and the state judicial branch offices has collusion /S with that, and with Wethersfield police, all kinds of natures of organized crimes and organized crimes methods, predicate acts with facts methods. Then they're going to speak for the law. They have the news at the same time stealing me to fake conversations with themselves and others relative to the interbranch forging and switching names and stacking upon fake transcripts and collusions with crime scenes, all natures, with their databases. Completely faked and changed the reality pretended into those databases, interbranch. These are increasingly collusions, again, with the state offices of the corrections offices and judicial branch offices, with the same house /S increasingly involved with them. Like people with the name Phil Cololo and tied to a Phil Cololo are increasingly involved with their educators too. I never saw him on the inside of a school in my life. Increasingly, Phil Cololo is one of the ones involved with predicate acts, identity theft, fraud, slander, sequence shifts, and people from my area involved with wire crimes with the police forms, multiple police departments, not just the Wethersfield police, and multiple campuses and their educators they involve. In some ways, their educators involve them. And the difference of that is also recorded, exploited, also as evidence. But see, they're preventing mandated law so they can pretend not to understand people, wherein how they have criminally foreign influence, tactical collusions, wrought readings of statutes and precedents, also as evidence. I'm not even a lawyer, black pupils. Peer, get them on paper, one name and sequence. Here, the man.